Alright, we are going to do the last little bit of 4.1 Day 2, and the content is congruent angles. So one thing to remember, it's not in your notes right now, but congruent means that they have the same measure. And in geometry they have this special symbol. It's with an equal sign and this kind of squiggle line. So in the next problem, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about congruence, and we're going to use it to solve some algebra problems. So first of all, it says wall stickers of standard shapes are often used to provide stimulating environment for a young child's room. A 5-pointed star sticker is shown with the vertices labeled. Find the measure. When we see this here, it talks about the measure. M is talking about a number, so the measure of angle GBH, and I have that in purple, and the measure of HCI, which is in green, if you see that angle GBH is congruent to angle HCI. So if this is true, what's going to happen is that we know that those angles are actually going to be the same. And in geometry, when they are the same, we usually denote it on the picture with a little arrow, like a little tick mark, I guess. So we put like one tick mark there, and then we would put another tick mark there to say that those are congruent. Okay, well, that is only part of the question. So what we're actually going to do now is we're going to figure out the value of x based on this equation. Okay? So it told us that they're equivalent. So here we have the measure of GBH is 2x plus 5. And we have that the measure of HCI is 3x minus 10. So what we're going to do is just solve this equation. You subtract 2x from both sides. And you end up with x over here. You still have your 10 and your 5 over here. So we'll do one more step. We're going to add that 10 to both sides, and we get x is equal to 15. Okay, so again, like I mentioned, and I've mentioned it before and before and before, is that oftentimes we need to go back and make sure that we answer the question, which was find the measure, which we didn't do yet. Since they're the same, we only need to find one. So I'll just do a little side work over here. So I'll take the first one, 2 times 15 plus 5. That is going to give me the measure of the angle. So 2 times 15 is 30, 30 plus 5 is 35. So we would want to write our answer, and so we would say the measure of angle GBH and the measure of HCI is equal to 35, and we put degrees. Alright, we're on to the last example here. It says find measure of angle BHC, which I have in blue, and the measure of DJE, which I have kind of in that pinkish color. And the notation right here says that they are congruent. It means they have equal measures. So it tells us here the measure of angle BHC is equal to 4x plus 5, and the measure of DJE is equal to 3x plus 30. So based on that information, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and write an equation. So congruent means the same. So we'll have our first side. That is going to equal our other side, 3x plus 30. And we're just going to go on to solve an equation. So I'd subtract 3x from both sides. I get x plus 5 is equal to 30. Next step would be to subtract 5 from both sides, and you get x equals 25. Alright, as I mentioned before, we always go back and check to make sure that we have the correct answer. Well, if I look at this angle BHC, I can see that it's clearly bigger than 90 degrees, so 25 does not seem reasonable. So we would go back up and plug in our value into the equation. So BHC says 4 times our x value, which was 25, plus 5. So to get that, 4 times 25 is 100, plus the 5 gives me 105. And we'll say degrees. So to top that one off, we're just going to say the measure of angle BHC, measure of angle DJE is equal to 105 degrees. So that's our final statement. Last question, so that's it for today. You'll have some time on Friday to work on class on this. So thanks, bye.